Hi there, this video is going to walk you through how to set up a messenger campaign. Now, messenger campaign is when you want to reach out to anybody in your first degree network. So that means anybody that you're already connected to on LinkedIn, you're able to reach out in a messenger campaign. Essentially, it looks the same as a connector campaign. It just doesn't have that first connection request, obviously because you're already connected to those people. This is a really good strategy if you want to announce an event, get people to look at your website, different call to actions that you need a higher conversation rate for. I would highly recommend using a messenger campaign. We found, like data-wise, it's about double the conversation rate as a connector campaign. So it's a really good place to start, especially if you have a really large network already. Okay, and there's a few things to be careful of when you create a messenger campaign, so make sure you watch this video closely and take notes of all the little caveats that I kind of explained here. There's a couple different ways to add people to a messenger campaign that's going to be important to go over as well, so I'll explain all those different ways in this video too. So first step here is to set up your messenger campaign. So you're going to go to campaigns, just like you normally would. Now you see up here there's a few tabs. We're going to want to go to the Messenger Campaign tab. And then you're going to click on New Campaign. You'll title it however you want. Usually, again, I do this the same as connector campaigns, or I'll title it the same way that I title the search. For now, I'm just going to put Test. Then I'm going to copy any steps I had on a previous Messenger campaign. Obviously, if I didn't have a campaign already, I wouldn't be able to copy steps. Just going to hit Create here just to show you. It's always going to appear at the bottom of the list for the newest one. And then you're going to click on the Steps tab, and this is where you're going to input your copy. Again, this looks really similar to a connector campaign, but each message you will select your time frame for after the first one. So you'll put your copy here. This is the first message that will go out, and then you can add subsequent steps as you see fit, spacing them out, of course, in a natural progression. All right. So everything here is going to function, again, just like a connector campaign. This, again, is going to be the first message that goes out. All right, now you need to find the people that you want to put into this campaign. There's a couple ways to do that. One is a slower, more manual process that you can do right from the Inbox tab. So if you go to the Inbox, and let's say I click on the first person here, there is a little icon up here. It's an Add to Messenger campaign button. If I click on this, because I'm already connected to this person, I'd be able to choose my campaign, and I could add them now, or I could add them later. To add them later, I'd click here, and I'd pick whatever day I'd like them to be added into the campaign. Okay, then I'm going to click Add to Messenger, and that person is going to be put into that campaign. Again, this is a slower, more manual process, obviously, because you have to go person by person to do this. But it's a great strategy if you have a really specific campaign and you only want specific people there. Another option, if you're going to do a larger outreach, is to set up a first degree search, either in LinkedIn or in Sales Navigator. So to do that, I'll show you really quickly. I'm going to go to Sales Navigator. Under Connection, I'm going to choose First Degree Connections. And then I can choose whatever other criteria I want. If I want them only in North America, I can pick out industry, title, whatever you want here. Once you're happy with your search, you're going to put your cursor in the search bar and hit Enter. Copy the URL at the top. This is really similar to a connector campaign. I'm going to go back into the software and exit out of this. I'm going to go to the Search tab. And then Start New Search. Instead of being in this connector search tab, I'm now going to click on Messenger Search. This is really important. And then because I did a Sales Navigator search, I'm going to paste it here. This is where I'll put the URL. Of course, if you do a regular LinkedIn search for this first degree group, you'd put it in the URL search. If you just wanted to do a one-off, you also have the option to do that here. All right, but again, I'm going to do a Sales Navigator search. You're going to name your search similar to the way you searched it, hopefully, just to give yourself an idea. But for time's sake, I'm just going to put Test here. And then I'm going to Add New Search Task. All right, now this is going to pull all of my first degree with the criteria that I had entered there. Same way as if you were going to add a group to a connector campaign, you're going to do the same here for a first degree search as well. What I recommend though for a messenger campaign, which is a little different than what I recommend for a connector campaign, is first go and turn off your messenger campaign. Just flip the little switch here. I want to make sure I have a chance to look through my list before I launch it. And this is really important, again, an extra step for a first degree search. The reason being is oftentimes, since you're already connected to these people, you might have already been engaged in a conversation, and we don't want to send out a message to someone in an awkward way in the middle of a conversation, right? So this list might pull some people, again, that I'm already talking to, or maybe that I don't want to reach out to. So we want to just be really particular here. Once this search is complete, and again, just like a connector campaign, you're going to know that by in this right corner, you're going to get a timestamp when it's done. Once that's done, you click on Add Found People to Messenger Campaign, and you're going to pick out the right one that you want to add it to, and you're going to go ahead and hit Add. All right, you might get a couple different kinds of notifications here. The first one here is telling me that I have to add steps to my messenger campaign before I can add people to it. So I'll go ahead and write some copy in there just so I can show you how that works. Another message that you might get here is if people are already in a campaign, then this will give you a notification that they're going to move from whatever campaign they were in before to this messenger campaign. So you really want to be careful here. If you have someone already in a sequence and you prefer them to stay, you're going to need them to not be in this search. So you might have to redo the search to keep those people out. Otherwise, if you're fine moving them over, you can agree to this OK button here and you can move all those people over into the messenger campaign. All right, but just to show you how this works, let's go back into the campaign and add a step here. Again, my campaign's off, so it won't send to anybody, but this will allow me to add people to this campaign. All right, let's go back to search. Make sure your campaign is selected, add found people. Perfect. This is the prompt I was telling you about earlier. It's telling me that I have people from one campaign that I'm now moving into another. It's fine with me. I'm going to delete them later, so I'm going to go ahead and hit move. All right. Now if I go back into the messenger campaign here, I am now able to sift through this list before I turn it on. And again, this is really important, like I said before, to ensure that you're not jumping into a conversation in the middle of it where you don't want to, right? So you can do a quick sift through here if you recognize the names. Otherwise, you can click around on people to see where the conversation is. And if I decide I don't want a person in the campaign, I would click on this little checkbox and I would hit delete up here. This will remove the person from the campaign. All right, so I recommend doing this before you turn on any messenger campaign. If you had already labeled someone as well, it will show up here, so that can kind of give you an indicator here that maybe this is someone I'm already in conversation with. I want to make sure my next message that goes out is one that I'd like them to receive and is something that is, more conversational and copy as well. All right, once you're all set with your campaign though, you can switch it on as normal. One thing to note in the software that's really important with messenger campaigns is that the software will always prioritize a messenger campaign over a connector campaign. Meaning if I have a connector campaign running at the same time as a messenger campaign, the software will go through tasks in a messenger campaign first before it then switches to the connector campaign. So just keep that in mind. It's always going to prioritize that. So if you want your connector campaign to be running at the same time, you might have to toggle on and off your messenger campaign to make that work. All right, that should be it. You should be good to go to reach out to your first degree connections. I hope you all have some great conversations that come from this search. Thanks.